Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, today we're going to talk about Zamazenta. I believe that's how it's said. When I did Zacian, I kept saying Zacian, which people corrected me on, and I still don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But you know what? we did we did the sword boy. Now it's time to move on to the shield. So, let's get into it. Alright, to start off, let's go over the stats. We're going to be going over the Hero of Many Battles form and then the Crown form. On my last video with Zacian, I pretty much went over the Crown form and that's it, but I got a cool move set for the Hero of Many Battles form as well. So starting off, we got HP and attack and special attack, and then yeah, those are going to stay the same throughout both sets, so we don't have to worry about those. Special attack doesn't matter because we're going to be attacking for both sets. HP isn't the best, but looking at the defense and special defense, it is so nice for this man. One thing to note, even though the special defense and the defense go way up in the crowned shield form, the speed drops. You get a 10 speed drop, which doesn't hurt too much, but that might be a reason the moveset we use for the Hero of Many Battles, that might be a reason that one prevails. Alright, and then looking at the typing, right? The typing's actually pretty solid. We got nothing that we're immune to for the Hero of Many Battles, but we are resistant to Rock, Bug, and Dark. The weaknesses, though, Flying, Psychic, and Fairy. Psychic and Fairy, I feel like, are pretty common types in the meta, which are disappointing. But if we go over to the Crowned Shield form, we have Ground, Fire, and Fighting, which, again, these are pretty popular types. But if you look at the resistance and the immune to, ooh, that Steel type gives us a lot to work with, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resistant to, and 1 immunity. And these are some pretty big types too, like Steel, Grass, Ice, Dragon, which is pretty huge, Dark, and Poison. I'm huge fan of this typing. So looking at moves you might want to check out when using this man, learned by leveling up. Metal Burst is pretty big, right? Wide Guard is solid. Howl, I'm actually going to be using one of my movesets today. It's pretty cool. Other than that, I don't see much. Iron Head's going to be like our biggest offensive move because when it does change forms, it gets Behemoth Bash, so that's pretty big. Close combat, I wouldn't worry about anything special attacking. And then going over to the TMs and TRs, Protect is always nice in doubles. I like that. Revenge, you could justify using. You are faster, and for the most part, so I don't really love this move. It depends who you're going up against and what you're running. You can run a slower version of these guys, but I typically do not. There's a lot of like these Fang moves, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, and I think there's like a Psychic one as well somewhere. Yeah, Psychic Fangs. So these are actually really cool moves that give us more of a type coverage. One, they're not very strong. Other than Psychic Fangs, everything's like 65 base power, and 2, you're not going to get that stat bonus, so typically I stay away from them if I can, but they are solid moves just in general. I believe you have Crunch too, so this man's just biting everyone out here. And then what we learned by tutoring, we have Steel Beam, which is a special attacking move, so I just like don't care about it. So if you're running a special set though, this is going to be the move for you. And if you do, let me know. Let me know how it goes. I could not conceivably think of a special set, but if you do one, hit me up. Alright, so let's hop into Showdown, right? Whew, we got an offensive set for the Crown form, a defensive set for the Crown form, and then Zamazenta non-Crown form. I really like the third set, yeah. I'm excited to show you. So our bread and butter for all these sets is going to be Close Combat and Behemoth Bash. Again, Behemoth Bash is only in the Crown form. You cannot use it in the regular form. Crunch is pretty huge. I just really like that dark coverage, especially against Psychic types when we're fighting. We actually no longer, in this form, like take those Psychic hits as bad as we would. We do have that Steel dual typing, which is really nice for us. Psychic Fangs, though, I included because I wanted to get that super effective move against other fighting mons, which will be super effective against us since we are a Steel type. Another option for that is you could bring Ice Fang, right? Because that would be good against the ground typings. Unfortunately, there's no Water Fang, so that fire weakness that we have is just kind of unmatched. And then just going over our EVs over here, our HP and our speed, those are the only ones that are that difficult to follow here because the attacker is just going to max out, right? We want to hit hard. The thing is, we already have a high enough speed where I don't think we have to invest everything into it. I've been playing around with it, and 80 feels like the sweet spot where we're outspeeding a lot of counters that we have, right? Like some of them might be like Excadrill since that's a ground type. Like there's not too many fire types that I can perceive, but it like Darmanitan's other form. I don't know, man. I think 80 is just like where we need to be for that. I haven't had much issue getting outspeed with that, especially because we are that 128 base speed. And then the rest are just pumped into HP. If you do intend on playing like a defensive or special defensive team, feel free to allocate that where you want. This is just like a general coverage. Okay, and then... Oh, wait. I need to explain something before moving on, right? So we have the Rusted Shield item. That's a necessary item if you're going to go Crown form. So you can't take anything else. It's nice, but at the same time you can't ban them or anything like that. The ability is going to be Dauntless Shield, and what Dauntless Shield does is on switch in you get a defensive boost. Really nice. So running a defensive set on this guy is definitely an option and something I'd recommend. So speaking of a defensive set, let's pop on over here. We're going to have the same item, same ability. We're kind of locked into those. He doesn't have any other abilities. I went with the same 2 offensive moves because I really like these. But I went with Substitute because I do think he'll be able to set up a Substitute. And because he's resistant to so many things, I think you could get a really good switch in. And if you get that switch in, you would be able to set up a Substitute. They either wouldn't be able to break it or would have to switch out. And then, what do you know? You can run train on him with Behemoth Bash in close combat. I forgot to mention Behemoth Bash is excellent against Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon. So that's pretty huge in this meta, especially with, I feel like a lot of games I'm just trying to get around or like stall out their Dynamax, but you do double the damage, so you'd actually want them to Dynamax at this point. Alright, then you have Substitute, I explained that, and then Howl. Howl's really nice in doubles, right? I intend most of my movesets on this channel for doubles, but I wouldn't use this in singles. I just wouldn't touch it, but doubles, it does raise the user's and allies' attack by 1, which is a pretty big deal. You do have to keep in mind who you're pairing him with, though, when you do use Howl. If you don't have many other offensive, like physical attackers on your team, I probably wouldn't put Howl on this mod. I'd probably opt for something like Protect. You could even throw on a screen like Light Screen or Reflect. I think those are good options. But yeah, that's the last spot is kind of up for your interpretation. Alright, then going here, I threw everything into a defensive and special defensive. Really, if you're going to like sweat on them, this is what I do because there are a lot of special attacking moves that are going to do a lot of damage, especially if it's going to be like a flamethrower or it's going to be a fire blast. Like that can OHKO you if you don't invest. But on the plus side is he does get this defensive boost from Dauntless Shield, so if you want to run full defensive, he's going to be an absolute tank. So I just pump it on to HP and defense. I do run an Impish Nature, boosting the defense, lowering the special attack. Pretty straightforward there. But yeah, his special defense is so good too that sometimes I'm like, well, like maybe I want to invest a little bit into that. It's tough to ignore for me. 145 special defense is a rare stat that you wouldn't be investing into. All right, then let's run it. Let's run it with our final set. So Zamazenta, not Crown form. So I picked Choice Band. I really liked a lot of his offensive moves. And he's a fast boy, so I invested everything into speed. We're OHKO-ing everything in here. Everything into attack, and then Iron Head, which is huge because it is that 80%, or not 80%, 100% hit rate for 80 damage, which is solid on its own, but there's also a 30% chance to crit, which is huge because we're 100% going to be going first. Like, no one outspeeds us, right? The thing about that is, though, we are in Ubers, so it's kind of expected. No one's going to outspeed us with that. So Fire Fang or Ice Fang is in there because I want to get rid of those ground type Pokemon. You can opt for Psychic Fang if you're more worried about the fighting mons, which probably I would be. If you are running Ubers, I would expect to see another Zamazenta or a Zacian. That's just kind of expected. But really cool. I have Close Combat Crunch. Like, those are staples. I really like those moves, especially if you're trying to get rid of those psychic Pokemon who are going to be super effective against fighting. Alright, we're out from the field. We're back in the lab. Sorry, that was my coin. We ran through a few movesets. I feel pretty good about these. I feel like they're better than my Zacian movesets. But Zamazenta's a really cool mon. I got Shield myself. That was the version I started with. I have both, but that's my main version, right? I really love this mon. I love the legendary. At first, it took a while for me to warm up to him, but now he's like top tier. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got at least something out of this moveset for you to either add into yours or even just start playing around with. Personally, I've been messing around in Ubers with these men in Showdown, and they're the carry as expected. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video. If you have any other videos that you'd like to see, whether it's another guide on a specific Pokemon or something else, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I respond to like every comment. So it's been the Clark Knight. I'm peacing out. See ya.
And 4. Count what you have now. Don't count what you do.